Have you ever felt stuck in the sense that no matter what you do, you don't seem to be making any progress, or you don't even know what step to take, where to go to get unstuck? Or maybe you're chasing goals right now that don't feel right, or maybe you don't even know what you want anymore.
Hi, I'm Tessa Arcilia. In Choices and Chances, I use my own style of interviewing, honed through decades as an international news presenter and correspondent, to delve into a new topic each week and interview some of the most inspiring people in the world. Life is a series of choices, choices that give us chances to live our best lives. My goal is to turn the wisdom of people I talk to and lessons from my own experiences into ideas you can use. So if you'd like to be inspired by others' stories, hit the subscribe button and join the community.
So, feeling stuck is something that many of us have felt. I've definitely been in that position. I know what it's like. And getting to the other side of it is possible. That is really what I want to share with you today. I just finished recording an interview with my next podcast guest, Aundrea Cline-Thomas. She's an Emmy Award-winning journalist who moved into entrepreneurship as well. And we touched on something that we both feel really strongly about: being radically honest with yourself in order to know where you want to go. That is the starting point of getting yourself unstuck. It's a really simple question that you ask yourself: what do you really want? And if you don't know what you want, as Andrea and I were chatting about earlier, then ask yourself, what do you value? What do I value? What matters to me? Now, when I say radically honest, it's really going deep into what motivates you to go after something that you want. If you say, I want more money, more wealth, why? It could be because you value security, you value freedom that money affords you, that you value having choice and having opportunities. If you want a promotion at work, why? You want your voice to be heard more. Why? Because you want to change people's lives and help people. So keep digging, 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 and figure out what it is you really want. And I know that sounds like a simple question, but it isn't really, because it goes back to a lot of digging. And it is not a light-hearted question either. You can be the most intelligent and most accomplished person out there professionally with all the titles. You may not know what you want really in life. And the thing is, most people don't really take the time to ask themselves that question, or if they do, in a superficial way. But believe me, if you take this question seriously, it's a simple yet life changing question. Now, for myself, when I made this shift to trying to start my own thing, I pictured myself at age 50, that's 7 years from now, and I pictured the life I wanted to be living at the time. And I wrote down the things that matter the most and the things that I value the most. And I now asked myself, am I on the path that will lead me to that goal? I wasn't. And I'm willing to take risks to get there. Here's a snippet of my chat with Andrea. It's a conversation that really resonated with me, and there are lots of nuggets of wisdom. So keep an eye out for the entire episode. But for now, take a listen.
What's the alternative? Right? So is the alternative not making any money? Is the alternative, like I don't not feel fear. I just don't let it make the decisions for me. And again, it's like, running to jump off the cliff. It's like what the alternative was so undesirable to me. And I'm like, well, if this is what it takes to succeed, that I just have to get over myself and do it. Live shots used to terrify me. And guess what? You just do it over and you're horrible at first, right? You're just terrible. You're stiff. You're not conversational. I was not breathing when I first did it. You know what I mean? But you have to get up and do it the next day. I would like people to ask themselves, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And if that's too hard, I'd start by saying, what do you value? So I valued my parents. Okay, my parents are getting older. I value the time I spend with them. And then I ask myself, am I spending a lot of time with them? And when I spend time with them, are they getting the best version of me, or are they getting the sleepy version of me, or the irritated or the burned out version of me? What are they actually getting? I love to travel, right? Am I traveling? Do I even have vacation time to travel? I love the ability to try to create generational wealth in my life. Where I am going to put me in a position to do that? And it was no, no, no. Like everything was no. And so I realized along the way that what I had valued changed, and that where I was could no longer serve the goals that I had for my life.
Once you figured out what it is you want, then you're able to start to plan how to get there. And that plan will be based on a goal, on a dream that is really rooted in your North Star. And why is that important? It's because the how becomes a lot less rigid. You're more flexible when it comes to the route that could lead you there. So if one of the routes leading you to your dream life is this job that you have and you lose your job, you won't be as stressed if you realize and know that, what, hang on a second, there's another way for me to get there. There's another way for me to secure my finances. There's another way for me to make an impact. There are other steps, so that you are not married to this one route. And I think that is what gives people a sense of freedom and confidence in pursuing that big dream. So once you know what you want, that I think that really is half the battle, because the steps getting there can change and you can be flexible and move with it. And that is empowering. And why is having a plan important? There is a time for everything. There is a time for sitting down and reflecting, digging deep, thinking. And then there's a time for talking about it, discussing with your family, with your mentors, with your friends, even with yourself. But then there's also a time for acting, doing something about it. And I think that is something that a lot of people might be a little slower to get onto. I understand, because it is scary when you don't know what the end result is going to be. But look at it this way. Either you change your mindset and go, right, I'm going to be happy with where I am, shift my mindset, and maybe that is enough to settle me down and make me feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. Or if it really isn't where you want to be and it doesn't match with what you want deep down, then you really need to take that first step, because no one is going to do it for you. And it can get tiresome repeating, complaining about your situation, even to yourself, and not doing anything about it. It's so disempowering. You always have a choice. You always have the capacity to change your mindset, change your circumstance, change your action. You know what I mean? All of this is within your capabilities and abilities. Now, think of the successful people in the world that you admire. They are thinkers, yes. They are innovators, yes. But more importantly, they are doers. They do things to get to where they are. They do things to put themselves out there and share their ideas and collaborate with people and test out and be willing to fail publicly even. They're doers. Thinking about it is not going to change the world. Doing something about it, making a mistake and trying again. We know, you know this as well as I do. That is what changes the world. That is what changes your life. That episode with Aundrea Cline-Thomas will be out soon, so do subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you listen or watch your podcasts on, and follow me on social media. I will be sharing a lot of ideas from my own experiences and from my interviews with guests about how to take that next step, how to move forward, how to succeed in life, how to become a thought leader, how to feel authentic and use the strength that you have innately to succeed in life.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a 5-star rating so others can find the podcast. Thank you for your company, and see you next time.